Mr. Speaker, it is an honour and privilege to stand before this House for the first time as the newly elected Member of Parliament for London Fanshawe. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the people of London Fanshawe for entrusting me with this great responsibility. Your voices were heard loud and clear, and it is my duty to ensure they echo strongly with these walls. I extend my sincere thank you to my campaign manager, Al Picard, for his tireless work and leadership, Jason King for his dedication and long hours. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them and our incredible campaign team and volunteers. This includes Carrie Ann Stevenson, David and Veronica Heffernan, Patrick Mayer, Sam Leekman, Nick Spina, Peter Vanderlee, Matthias Vanderlee, Corey Bennett, Jason Moran, Adam Call, Arun Matthew, Ian Baldock, Chris Hagelston, Michelle Wilson and her son Chase, Tammy Hogarth, Chris Seal, Jay Cosgrove, Rodney and Louise Shield, plus the other countless volunteers and members of the London Fanshawe Conservative Association who helped me share the Conservative vision for a better future. I also wish to thank Grant Vesna, Paul Vesna, Rick Mayer, John Brotzel, Andrew Kokorian, Barbara Lee Vale, David Weber, Shirley and Pete Hayes, Bon O'Brien, Chris O'Neill, Patrick O'Neill, Sean Bender, Beatrix Enter, and Paul O'Neill for their invaluable encouragement and support throughout my campaign. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you. And of course, a special thank you to the Honourable Pierre Poilievre for aspiring a movement to giving people in London Fanshawe and all across Canada hope. I also want to thank my brother Keith, my sister-in-law Kavita, and their children Devin, Darren, and Diva, my sister Crystal, my brother-in-law Justin, and their children Tyler, Evan, and Kristen, and my girlfriend Dilcia D. Casija, whose love and support mean the world to me. Most importantly, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my father, Ken Holman, and to my late mother, Lucy Holman. You have been both my foundation and my greatest inspiration. Through your example of personal sacrifice for the greater good and the lively debates that we shared over the supper table, I learned to believe in myself and never to give up, understanding that with hard work and determination, I can help make a difference. It is because of these values and lessons that I stand here today. Mr. Speaker, my election represents a historic moment for London Fanshawe. For decades, many in our community felt their voices went unheard, their concerns overlooked. But today, as we're witnessing a new dawn, London Fanshawe stands proudly as a beacon, a testament to the power of democracy and the change that it brings when pursuing genuine representation. Our community will no longer be a silent observer, but an active participant shaping in our country's future. As the first Conservative Member of Parliament in London Fanshawe's history, on my first address in the Sacred Chamber, it is my duty to speak truth to power. The truth, Mr. Speaker, is the last decade has been an unmitigated disaster. The Liberals, together with their NDP accomplices, have destroyed the middle class, cheapened the dollar while inflating the price of everything. They've trampled on Canadians' rights and freedoms and have caused so much division. Worst of all, they broke the Canadian promise that up until now has passed from generation to generation. The promise that hard work leads to a good life and a beautiful home on a safe street was not theirs to break. It is much bigger than any party, bigger than any prime minister. It is the heart of what makes Canada the best country on earth. I will fight relentlessly to restore the promise for London Fanshawe and for all Canadians. This is what it's all about. On her deathbed in 2015, my mother said to me, "Kurt, live a wonderful life and be happy." I think it's safe to say that every parent wants this for their children. We must restore Canada's promise so that all Canadians can live a wonderful life and be happy. Mr. Speaker, I'm a computer analyst, raised in a small town in Forest, Ontario, a graduate of North Lambton Secondary School, class of 1999, graduate of the Computer Engineering Technology program at Lambton College in Sarnia, Ontario in 2002. With 27 years of information technology experience and recently earning from McMaster University an MBA in digital transformation utilizing artificial intelligence. In information technology, when a system fails, you can try rebooting. But if the issue is at the core, a system restart won't do much. Turning the Liberal government on and off again and over again won't fix Canada's problems. Until recently, I would have never even thought about running for office, but I couldn't sit this one out. I saw too much struggle, pain, and despair, and I felt compelled to do something about it. So I put disappointment and frustration into action. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister ran on change. He distanced himself from the failed experiments of the former Liberal Prime Minister and even borrowed a number of Conservative policies. If he is sincere, if that was more than just rhetoric, I, along with my Conservative colleagues, will gladly work together to bring real change. I echo the Honourable Pierre Poilievre in welcoming the Prime Minister to borrow many more Conservative ideas so that our country so desperately needs. Unfortunately, with every passing day, it's becoming clearer and clearer that when it comes to actions, not words, the new Liberal government is no different. Not exactly a big surprise with the same team of radicals are in the cabinet, but very disappointing nonetheless. Canadians deserve to be treated like adults, with honesty, respect, and transparency. The status quo, whether in silly socks or in fancy banker suits, is still the status quo, Mr. Speaker. The Prime Minister promised change. He presented himself as a man with a plan. But as soon as he got elected, he tabled a massive $500 billion spending bill, increasing government spending by 8%, and announced that he won't get a budget anytime soon. Does that look like change to you, Mr. Speaker? Let's talk about elbows up. If only Canadians saved a nickel off their taxes every time this Prime Minister said those two words, eh? And yet, behind closed doors, we discovered his cabinet quietly exempted American industries from nearly every tariff they publicly championed. Does that seem like change, Mr. Speaker? No wonder President Trump endorsed the Liberals. Let's talk about the cornerstone policy of the NDP Liberal government over the last decade, the carbon tax. After ignoring the painful economic consequences from this inflationary punishment, this government now attempts a sleight of hand, shifting the tax from consumers directly onto the producers. Are Canadians really expected to believe businesses will simply absorb these costs? Of course not. The costs will fall onto everyday Canadians. Across London Fanshawe, small and medium-sized businesses form the heartbeat of our local economy. Yet, under these new burdens, our businesses are expected to elbow up, but in reality, this government is tying their elbows behind their backs. I'm a firm believer that success builds success. Our businesses need the government to get out of the way so they can succeed. Their success will build a successful economy. It's common sense. This carbon tax, much like the original, is not environmental stewardship. It's economic sabotage. London Fanshawe's entrepreneurs deserve better. They deserve policies that unleash innovation, foster competition, and allow our businesses to thrive, not barely survive. Moreover, young families and students in London Fanshawe face unprecedented challenges as housing prices skyrocket beyond reach. Yet this government's new housing minister says lowering housing prices isn't even on their agenda. What kind of future are we building when home ownership becomes an unattainable dream? Inflation under this government has pushed hardworking families to the brink. London Fanshawe residents are seeing their paychecks shrink and their expenses surge every day. We cannot afford this directionless drift any longer. Our economy needs clarity, not confusion. We must empower, not impede, our businesses, entrepreneurs, and workers. It's time to remove the barriers holding them back and give them the freedom to drive our economy forward. The business people, the entrepreneurs, the white-collar and blue-collar workers are the pillars of London Fanshawe. They are the people that work long hours to put food on the table. They just want to know that hard work leads to a good and happy life, both for them and one day their children. As a government in waiting, we stand ready with practical solutions. To the parents who lie awake wondering what tomorrow will bring, rest assured, we'll fight to secure a brighter future for your children. London Fanshawe chose hope over division, prosperity over empty promises, and leadership over empty gestures. I am committed to representing their interests vigorously in Ottawa. Together, we will ensure our community's voice is strong, respected, and impactful. Thank you. Merci.
Hear, hear.